and welcome to our program Where God Weeps, a program where we speak about the realities of the church in need, and in many cases also a persecuted church. The diocese of Bagdogra in the state of West Bengal in India is located between Nepal and Bangladesh. West Bengal is a densely populated state, and it has been the stage for very important periods of economic buoyancy and powerful kingdoms. With a strong presence of Buddhism, Islam, and Hinduism, the Christian community is a minority in this diverse tapestry of religions. Bishop Vincent Aind has been the head of the diocese since 2015, and today is my honor to welcome him to our program to talk about the realities of the church in this region of India. Your Excellency, welcome to our program.
Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, you are originally from this beautiful region of this subcontinent of India. And can you describe us what is the geography of this area?
Well, geographically speaking, in the map of India, our region is known as the chicken neck.
That's right, because it's when
exactly.
India goes all the way.
Tiny bit of India passing between Nepal and Bhutan one side and Bangladesh below, and then is the head of the chicken, the northeast.
That's
so
right.
We are in the neck, and mostly it is populated by tea garden workers, tea garden planters who brought tea plants via Assam, northeast from China apparently, and then now for many years, many decades, tea garden is the source of income or source of living for many people, and most of my Catholic community depend for their livelihood on tea plantation.
It must be a beautiful landscape with all these tea gardens around.
Very much so. When it is lush green, it is beautiful to see. It is a wonderful landscape.
Now, I think it's interesting to talk about the geography and the description of the territory because it relates to the lifestyle of the people.
Very true.
As you mentioned, they work in these fields of growing tea. And so what is the socio-economical situation of this group of people?
It's rather discouraging. For long, it's a different kind of slavery, we could say, because their daily wages have not been very good. They barely manage to live hand to mouth. There have been efforts from some NGOs to ask the tea companies to make the payment for the laborers slightly better so that they can lead a dignified human life. To some extent, it is successful, but it needs to be further improved. But there is at the same time, there is no guarantee that this tea plantation will continue for long, because there are signs. Even the very famous and big companies are shutting down. And if they shut down, many of these workers, in thousands of them, will be unemployed.
So that would generate a very serious economic crisis. Your Excellency, I'm very impressed with your academic curriculum. You have a bachelor's, a master's, and a PhD. So academically, you're very well prepared. How does this help your particular pastoral work in this region?
Well, these academic experiences, apart from qualifying, the fact that I have been teaching for so many years in a major seminary, regional seminary of West Bengal, that is situated in the Archdiocese of Kolkata, in Barakpur, Morning Star Regional Seminary. This experience in the academic field has brought me closer to various other cultures in our state, and mainly to Hindu culture, Hindu faith, Hindu way of living. So it had prepared me a very good ground to go to the pastoral field as a bishop with that experience and that knowledge, so that I am able to relate also with people of other faiths and other cultures, and see in what way my people, which belong mostly to tribal community and mostly to tea plantation workers, how I could lead them in the midst of so many other faiths, other cultures. So this was a kind of a big help to me.
Now, you just mentioned, Your Excellency, that most of the people that you work with, they're tribal. Can you explain us specifically what does that mean for people that are not familiar with the reality in India?
Right. With the introduction of tea plantation in this belt by the British many years ago, many workers were brought from Nepal and from what we know as Chota Nagpur, which is almost the central part of India. So Chota Nagpur, associated with big missionaries like Father Constant Livens and other Jesuits, thanks to them that Christianity was introduced to the tribal people of Chota Nagpur. They are also known as Adivasis, meaning people, aboriginals of that area. Now, from among them, in hundreds, they were brought to the tea gardens in this zone where I am now. Originally, they used to work for 6 months and go back to their original place, initially. But
seasonal workers
they were. But over the time, they settled. They don't go back anymore. And now many generations are settled this side. So the same tribals which you will find in Chota Nagpur, let's say in Jharkhand, are the ones settled in the tea belts here. And from among them, most of my Catholics are.
Now we're going to go deeper in the pastoral work that lay people are doing in your diocese. So in order to introduce this topic, we're going to share with our audience a short video about the work that a tribal catechist does in India.
मेरा नाम लेओस तिर्की है। मैं 15 साल का काम प्रचारक में कर रहा हूँ। बसवार में 9 साल प्रचारक का कार्य किया और अभी बिनिया में 6 साल प्रचारक का काम कर रहा हूँ। मैं शादीशुदा हूँ। मेरा पत्नी का नाम कांता तिर्की है। मेरे 3 बच्चे हैं, तीनों लड़के हैं। बड़ा वाला अंबिकापुर में पढ़ रहा है और मझिला रघुनाथपुर में, छोटा बिनिया में पढ़ रहा है। मैं प्रचारक इसीलिए बना कि मैं लोगों की सेवा कर सकूं। मैं प्रचारक का कार्य करने के लिए 3 जगह जाता हूँ। हाँ, घटोन का दूरी 5 किलोमीटर, इधर बसवार 15, इधर आरगोटी 8 किलोमीटर। मैं ये थैली पकड़ता हूँ तो जब गांव जाता हूँ तो ही बाइबल, रोजरी और भक्ति भजन, साथ में कपड़ा 1-2 पकड़े रहता हूँ। हाँ, मेरे आने जाते समय कभी कभी पंचर, तो कभी वही साइकिल कभी कभी धोखा देती है, तो मैं पैदल पहुंच जाता हूं। इस कार्य को करने के लिए मेरे पहले से खुशी थी और अभी भी बहुत खुशी लगती है। कहीं भी गांव जाता हूँ तो लोग जहाँ जाता हूँ वहाँ तो अभी तक मेरे नज़र में खुश ही दिखते हैं। इसमें अपनी कार्य में वही पाप स्वीकार करने के लिए सिखाता हूँ और परम प्रसाद लेने के लिए और संस्कार लेने के लिए लोगों को प्रेरित करता हूँ। फादर या गांव जाने से पहले मैं उनको प्रार्थना, गाना या वहाँ की तैयारी करवाता हूँ और कभी कभी मैं वही गांव में वो प्रार्थना करवाता हूँ। या ईश्वर तक वो पहुँचने के लिए अपना मन को बदल सके, तो यही इच्छा के चलते मैं लोगों से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ कि लोगों को कुछ के बीच में कुछ काम कर सकूँ। मेरा नाम लेओस तिर्की है। मैं एक प्रचारक हूँ।
Today we are talking with Bishop Vincent Aind. He is the head of the diocese of Bagdogra in West Bengal, India. Your Excellency, we were watching this video of the amazing work that these men, and I am assuming women as well, do in your region. Why is so important that you get lay people involved in the pastoral work?
According to me, there are two ways of explaining it. One is, these are the local leaders in the villages who have day-to-day contacts with not only the Catholics but with people of variety of cultures, faith, etc. And most of them share similar economic or social situation. So they have a lot of among themselves sense of belonging, oneness. So they are right people to deal with. Secondly, coming from tribal social system, there has always been a special role of village leaders. Even before accepting Christianity, village leaders were looked up to by the rest of the community members. So given that background, today the catechists are somewhat like the leaders. They are equal with others in everything else except when it comes to telling the rest of the people what to do and what not to do.
So they become somehow a moral authority.
Oh, yeah, correct. So we would like to make use of the same traditional social authority, moral authority that these leaders have. If they are empowered, if they are trained with Catholic principles, the teaching, etc., they will manage it well.
Now let's talk about precisely the training, Your Excellency. What kind of training they received and how it is implemented?
Training is basically about Catholic faith, about the Bible, about catechism, about sacraments. These are the things they basically deal with in their day-to-day life. So if they are instructed properly about the catechism, about the sacraments, about the Bible, they are in a position to tell people on the basis of what they know.
Now, I'm assuming, Your Excellency, that with this structure you're growing because your diocese is not that old. It's just 20 years that was separated from the main
Darjeeling diocese.
The main diocese. I'm assuming that the reason is because it is growing. The Catholic community is growing.
Growing. One of the reasons for bifurcating it from the Diocese of Darjeeling was the ethnic difference and geographical difficulties. Darjeeling, being up in the hills, has a very large area to cover. Though numerically smaller Catholic community, but the priests have to go to so many places. Distance-wise, it is time-consuming and much energy required. So that way, that division was helpful. And also ethnically, the people in my diocese who are in the plains are different from the people up in the hills. So it was one type of culture up there in the hills and another type of here. So it was conducive to work among them in one way. So that being perhaps one of the reasons for bifurcation, it is conducive now to work among these people for us, because ethnically, more or less, they belong to homogeneous group.
And it's easier for them to work and have the sense of empathy with their problems and their challenges. Your Excellency, another very important challenge right now for the Christian minority in India is what we might call this nationalism, that in some cases it's even exacerbated by political influence by the BJP.
Yes.
And that they're promoting the Indian culture, and anything that is not originally, let's say, from India, any Western influence, is rejected or even attacked. In this environment, in your region, have you seen some hostility against the Christian minority?
Not in my region, and much less in my diocese. So far, no hostility of this kind has taken place. We have not experienced as such. But that does not mean that there is no undercurrent of the movement. We are aware that undercurrent of the movement is there, because this so-called nationalist group, the fundamentalist group, which wishes to turn India into purely Hindu nation, and Hinduism being the way of living there, is very serious in its work, and therefore many ground level activists are sent as missionaries, let's say, in that word, they have already begun making inroads to villages, to some families. Infiltrating. That is taking place. We are aware of it.
And that eventually will have an influence in the environment. You know, through this program, Your Excellency, we have the opportunity to reach a lot of Catholics and Christians around the world. What would you like our viewers, our audience, to know about your region, and how can we help, we as a Universal Church?
Given the type of situation we are now facing, the type of atmosphere we are experiencing, my conviction is we have to help our ordinary Catholic communities to be stronger in their faith. Their faith should come more from their inner conviction. They should experience Christ in themselves. And once that happens, if their faith is stronger, if their conviction is good, no matter what kind of situation we have to face, they will be good witnesses. So it is towards that my effort is. Our priests and religious are making an effort to help the ordinary people to be more and more convinced Christians and not just traditional Christians. And I am so happy that some of my people asked me, "Bishop, teach us the Bible," they said. And it was such a wonderful request that it had also a little bit of fear from my part. Okay, it is very good request that they make. I must teach them the Bible. They must know the Bible. But then how to teach the Bible to these very ordinary people? Some of them are not
very well educated.
Not well educated. But their demand was very genuine. So we have tried to respond positively, and we have begun in a simplified manner to give them Bible class, and it is going on for last 2 years now. One group that comes together in the cathedral from all over the diocese once a month, for every third Sunday of the month, for 1 hour of charismatic prayer and adoration, after which they attend this Bible class. Apart from this group, there are 2 more groups. One of them attends in one place on Saturday in the afternoon. Most of them are youth. Other group on Sunday, every Sunday, in another place, which is mixed group, some youth and some grown-ups. They attend, and to encourage them, I managed to get some help from Italy and managed to give them the Bible at half the price. What would cost 200 rupees per copy, I am able to give them for 100 rupees a copy. So they are purchasing the Bible. Already I had ordered for 5,000 copies. So it is going on, and they are learning the Bible, which is a very good sign from their side, and they showed their interest in it. So if that happens, and if we respond positively to them, I think there is a chance that we can help them build their faith stronger. And it is towards that, if we want to organize some more programs, some more seminars and conferences where they can attend and be empowered, we would look forward to help in that regard. So I was talking to a colleague of yours how maybe the Church in Need could support us to organize the program. to some extent look after the expenses, because my people are ready to spend for their travel expenses, but we have to charge them for their food, etc. If that could be somehow sponsored, I think we would do well.
The desire is there in your people now.
Right.
They just need the resources
Yes,
to achieve that
Right.
formation. Your Excellency, thank you so much for dedicating this time to us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us in another program of Where God Weeps. If you want to know more about the work that the Church is doing in India, particularly in the West Bengal region, we encourage you to contact the information at the end of this program. Thank you, and God bless.